Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the 12th and final episode of Hamefura. And last episode, Katarina got to take a really nice nap where she got to kind of experience her previous life, which was fun to get to see some of that. But I think the most value that she got out of that was just really truly realizing that where she is now is her new home, and she needs to fully embrace this new chapter of her life. It's got full of people that love her and want to protect her and help her and keep her from getting stabbed to death. Certainly wouldn't do it themselves. So the only one that's kind of thinking about that now would be the student council president, who's currently our enemy. And we went to go find him. Then we did. We found Maria, got her unchained, and then we found him. So this episode's going to be just dealing with him. Like, we got some kind of vague hints about what's going on with him, like some brief, like, flashback clips, maybe you'd call it. I don't know, like little peeks into his backstory. So I imagine we'll elaborate on that in this episode, see what his deal is, and talk him down. Get him to stop being a baddie and kidnapping people. Because I don't think we're gonna like kill him or anything like that. Like, I don't think that's gonna be how this resolves. I think it's just gonna be bad, be better. Then he's like, okay. That's how I imagine it going. So let's see if that's indeed how it goes. So 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, that's the guy. Because you kidnapped Maria. What kind of question is that? Then what do you mean? Well, we gotta deal with you somehow. Whether it's with words or a sword, we gotta deal with you somehow. I mean, I sort of disagree. Kidnapped Maria made you unconscious. It's fairly bad. It's not unforgivable, but it's fairly bad. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't do that, though. Yeah, talking is definitely the path we're gonna take, like I thought. Because I'm sure he can be reasoned with. Yeah, and this time we have backup, so it should go better. People, needed to stop confronting him alone. That was a big problem. It's a good question. We only saw a little bit of that. The evil laugh is not a good sign. A long time ago. You're not even that old. Not a long time. So you try to take Maria from Katarina, doesn't make that okay at all. Final event has begun. Yeah. That was the line we saw. And then it all gets ruined, right? But why, though? It has a name. Maybe you should have stayed asleep. That is... That's pretty freaky. I'm a little bit confused about this. Apparently that's not gonna happen. Yeah, she seems pretty awful. Okay. Looks a lot like him, like a terrifying amount. Yeah, all I have to do is sacrifice your child. It doesn't sound all that reasonable to me. But clearly we're not given an option here. Okay, he just sucked up the darkness. That was the other part we saw. Now I finally have the context. So basically, the mother was for sacrificing to get the power, and he was for being a vessel. We'll see about that. I don't think it's that simple. Man, she just forces everyone, doesn't she? Literal backstab. Because she's a terrible person. I mean, I already picked up on that. I'm not sure why it took you so long. Yeah, I saw the flashback. Right, so definitely not a perfect transfer. Yeah, that was a confusing bit. Oh, wow. Man, he's playing the long game then. Still not a healthy way to live. So, Mario, could you, like, cleanse them with light magic or something? At least try. I hope you're right. That's a concerning amount of darkness. You're the protagonist of the anime, at least. But that's probably enough. She's helped other people with their problems. There isn't why she couldn't help him. Life, really. They're open to suggestions. That a little bit unsettling, but I guess it was a positive thing. Please don't kill other people. Probably should have added that in there. I mean, he hasn't, but, you know. You know you want to take that hand. Almost there. Oh, good. No. Of course it wouldn't be that easy. Yeah, this darkness is a bad influence on him. Try to expel it if you can. Yeah, I knew that's not what she said, like, from the beginning, but... that makes sense. Sort of. Like, I figured the killing of that guy was what, if, like, change things. And you're not gonna be a part of that. Again, doesn't look very Daijobu, but I'll believe you. You tell him. Well, there we go. Now we got some sort of light to do it. I mean, that's how you dispel darkness, with light, and he seemed to have summoned some, so... And this time it seems we actually resolved things. And made it snow, I think. Okay. Really good of you. Yeah, that's definitely good. That's the important thing. We got to episode 12 and we haven't died. But I'm sure the game continues. That's so wow. It's a wonderful dress. He wears it well. I'm sure it will be fine. Wow. Wow. I feel like we skipped over most of those, which is unfortunate. Why would you do that? Well, I guess that answers that question, but, yeah, it's a big thing. Can't forget that. Does she have a bulletproof vest, though? Or a knife-proof vest, at least. Yeah, that President guy is not the only one with the long plans. Just the grunting or whatever she was doing made it so much better. But anyway, we got a party. And someone's popular. Yeah, congrats. Really hold so many flowers. Is it a snake? Is that vegetable? Wait, what? Vegetable? I mean, guess it makes sense. Sort of. Yeah. Veggie poop. Okay. Okay. This is Katarina that we love and know. Yeah, she's the best, isn't she? Just try not to laugh. The tastiest of bouquets. I'm gonna miss her when the show's over. He's got his piano. And I guess not to be outdone, he's got a violin. I don't see much finger movement on that thing, though. Yeah, I think Katrina has one of the best dresses. Well, all their love interests is already in here, so they're not going anywhere. You've changed a lot, do you not get that? That would be something, wouldn't it? But I doubt it. Just be quiet and enjoy the performance, Katarina. Pretty good. Not bad. Solid 7 out of 10. Of course she's eating. That means she's enjoying the party, that's something. Well, she's stressed. A good thing somebody did. I mean, we can see where her food goes. I'll take some cake if you got extra. I also got a drink if you need it. Prepared? Oh. Kind of answer are we gonna give? Oh. I mean, that's kind of a almost love confession. It's roughly. Yeah, so is there anyone you wanted to be in bed with is what I'm asking. I hope she does. Ah, that's not the answer I wanted. Well, that's fine. There we go. That's pretty damn close. I mean, that basically is a love confession, although it's vague enough she won't get it. I wonder why. And now, here comes the fighting. Yeah, nobody wants to be left out. Yeah, don't remind me. Yeah, we're not taking that whole thing seriously. Come on, guys. It's the last episode, let's not fight. Yeah, that's what you'd call it. Yeah, in a game where you want to bang the heroine, I guess that would be kind of a bad end. But she might not fully understand what's going on, but she knows enough. She knows she's not gonna die, so I guess that's reason not to be happy. Yeah, I can't have that. Well, of course. Well, that ain't true. But we appreciate the new recipe nonetheless. Would love some. Don't burn yourself. Is that... Yep, that's him. Well, yeah, I would imagine not. Who invited him? Okay. Guess it's fine. Gotta take some getting used to. I guess that's something. I mean, everybody wants to be by our side. Like, what's one more, really? Let's call her BugiNinja. Get triggered, boy. That's what she does. All without knowing it. Could have at least been a female one, but nope. At least we have tea and sweets, so I guess that's what matters. It's just teammates in the background. Probably thinking, get a room. Everyone doing their own thing. Because life goes on, even after the show ends. Guess he's working hard. Yeah, but things end up pretty well, overall. They're all waiting. But only one's waving. Man, that wind is pretty strong. Yeah, when we're really off script at this point, so nobody could possibly predict what will happen next. And roll credits. Yeah, I forgot how bad the injury looked when she first got it. Looked nasty. Fake snake. And Sophia. Bum 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 bum. There's Maria. Anon. Wonder if there will be any kind of after credits scene. And well, something. One thing. This the fake snake. Okay, I guess that was an important ending credit scene. Alright, well, that was the 12th and final episode of Hamefura. And I mean, we resolved things pretty much how I expected. We got more clarification on his backstory, and Katarina goes up to him, reaches out her hand, and he realizes the truth that his mother was not actually telling him to get revenge, because that's ridiculous, and it was just the manipulations of the one guy that was backstabbed and had the dark powers, and because I guess red-haired guy got the powers because of that sacrifice. I guess that's how it worked. I don't know. The mechanics of it's a little bit odd, but I think that's how it worked. Because, you know, he got the dark powers and he died, was sacrificed, and yeah, of course, the powers weren't going to go to anyone else, so it would go to him. And it just, the whole thing was kind of messy because you got the mother there that was sacrificed for the initial dark powers, and then the woman wanted basically the body transfer memories and stuff into to have a new healthy son, and essentially sacrificing both of them in just different ways. But yeah, she was just awful. Just not a good thing to do at all. Just completely destroying this family just to try to keep your own stable. That's not a good word for it, but you know what I mean. Just like, you know, it's just completely destroying this family for your own purposes, basically. So yeah, very depressing backstory. Like very much so. Like, I mean, not really much to say about it. Really, just awful circumstances that not Sirius was in. I don't remember his other name. It's like 3 different names, you know. Presidents, the name of the one child, name of the original child. It's all very confusing. But yeah, but we had a happy end though with it. He eventually realized the manipulation that was being done there and casted it out, you know. So that's good. And, you know, chalk up 1 extra member of the Katarina harem. So yeah, overall positive end for that, which is good. And he very much tried to take responsibility for his actions, which is good as well. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything I got to say on that, for the most part. It's just crazy how many of those meetings that she's had in her head, like several thousand. That's kind of a freaky thing to think about. But even at this point in the story, we have Katarina that's still worrying about the getting that bad end, because, you know, the event that was about to come up was a pretty big event and stuff can happen in it. And but, you know, of course, nothing bad was going to happen because she's pretty much conquered every character, right? So she's just standing there at the events, just all panicky while everyone else is trying to enjoy the performance, worried about what's going to happen. But, you know, like, nothing's going to happen. Everyone's attention is on her, and she's there. So, like, yeah, nothing that she's imagining is going to happen. We're so far outside of the range of the game that she really can't predict what's going to happen, so she really is worrying too much, for sure. And she actually talks to Maria to try to get, you know, what's going on in her head. But little does she know, Maria likes her like everyone else in the show. So she basically confesses to her, like pretty much confesses to her. You know, like the same kind of confession she does in the game, I think she said. And even at that point, Katarina still just didn't get it. It's kind of amazing, really. Like, I'm used to dense protagonist, you know, harem protagonist, right? So it doesn't really surprise me that much. But still, it's just how he's like, yay, I got this cool friendship, and, you know, it's great. It's like, I don't think they want friendship exactly, but, you know, she doesn't quite get it. She's probably never gonna get it. That's how these things go, you know. But it was a nice scene between Maria and Katarina. Of course, everyone else got into it eventually, but before that point, it was some very nice one-on-one stuff between them. Even if feelings weren't quite getting through to the other person, it was still a nice scene in spite of that. You know, it really is amazing. Katarina has such a great figure despite how much she eats. Just, especially when, you know, we have people just offering her cake and whatnot. But, yeah, just, I think the funniest thing about the whole episode was just Katarina giving, I think it was Nicole, the vegetable bouquet. I mean, it's a Katarina thing to do, because she has a vegetable garden, you know, it's something that she makes, and, you know, something she has pride in, something personal, something that could benefit someone, because, you know, food you can actually eat, unlike flowers, which will just wilt and die somewhere, you know. So it makes sense. It's just silly Katarina stuff that I love. And that's pretty much everything to say about the final episode. So all I really can do now is just talk about the series as a whole. And the series as a whole was quite an experience, for sure. Like, I've talked about the premise of the show being a really, you know, great, unique, interesting premise a lot, so I don't really want to reiterate that too much here. But yeah, just reincarnated as a villainess instead of the protagonist, and then having to just work on not dying and a bad end was really cool. Very interesting thing. And over time, she kept changing the way things go, to the point where you know, by the time we actually got to the school segment, it was actually probably 80% different than the actual game itself. But she never really seemed to fully grasp that. Like, yeah, I don't think she ever really fully grasped how much she had already changed. I think because she never really fully understood how much of an effect she's had on people. Because she never really tried to, you know, be a life-altering presence in these people's lives. She just tried to, you know, befriend people, talk to them, tell her how she feels about their issues and how she feels about them. You know, just trying to be just a fairly nice, friendly person. But a lot of things she did had, like, world-shaking effects on them, you know, on a personal, individual level. And that, if you do that to somebody as a child, then by the time they get to be older, you know, in high school, they're probably not quite the same person they were before. If you can, you know, plant those seeds that early on. But you never seem to realize that, which led to an interesting dynamic where she's like, oh no, the bad end, what'll I do? They might stab me. And as the audience, we're just kind of sitting here like, I don't think that person that wants to marry you is going to stab you anytime soon. Just, I doubt it. You know, maybe if they have a bad day, they might consider it, but it's probably not going to happen. Like just that was a big part of the fun of the show, was just, yeah, Katarina's denseness. Like, she never really understood what was happening. You know, despite how blatant some of these characters are, she just never quite got it. And especially like Mary. Yeah, Mary. She was one of the least subtle ones, but Katarina never quite got that. So that was a fun little thing. And just Katarina herself was an amazing character. Just very Ojo-sama like she had a literal garden that she handled herself and stuff like that. You know, she eats a whole lot. She just runs around, climbs trees. You know, how against all that the mother was, how much stress she caused her was always quite funny, for sure. Yeah, without question, Katarina was definitely the best character in the show. Just great. It's all around great. Although, you know, there were some other good characters. You know, Maria was great. She was very much a very nice, humble, kind, sweet girl that could bake cookies and sweets and stuff. And in the final episode, when Katarina asked if she likes anyone, she was pretty straightforward and honest about her feelings. So I quite like her. You know, she's a nice one. And then you have Mary. You know, I like Mary. I think she was the first friend, like female friend, that Katarina made in this world. I'm pretty sure. I think she was the one that helped her with the gardening. Hopefully, I'm not getting things mixed up in my head. But yeah, that was some quite nice stuff, really. So that was a great introduction to her character. You know, being like the first real friend of hers in this world. And she's always very much like I said, one of the most blatant ones about her feelings towards Katarina. You know, and not much to say about her really beyond that, because that was a big part of her character, was just, you know, trying to get in the way when someone else was getting a little bit too close to her. You know. Which was fun to see, just in general, and a very important role. Although she was not there where she needed to be for that one Georgie scene. And there's Sophia, who definitely was an interesting character because she was like the reincarnation of her previous friend, the one from the real world that was really into the game. I mean, we never really got too far with that, really, which is a little bit disappointing, but it was still pretty cool because, you know, she was able to have a little bit of her previous world come to this one, and that they have their relationship, their bond that transcends worlds, and it's a really cool concept. I just kind of wish she had fully awakened and we had a scene was like, hey, remember me back from the previous world? I know it looked a little bit different, and so do you, but hey, we found each other. Isn't that great? You know, I was kind of hoping we could get a scene like that, but we didn't. But it maybe in a hypothetical season 2, but who knows? That's something I was hoping we would get, but that we didn't, and just it's mildly disappointing. But yeah, Sophia really liked the books, which, you know, I guess Katarina did as well. You know, so that was the kind of their big bonding point. So seeing them reading together, it was always quite fun. Sophia talking about these fantasy worlds and stuff that she liked. She was always a pretty nice, cute character as well. Although I think she got a little bit bold in the one, like, Desire book, if I remember correctly. She was the one that did the Kabadon, right? Because Mary wasn't even in there, so she couldn't have been the one that did that. So, yeah, we had that whole thing. Now, as far as the male characters go, I mean, I didn't care too much for them because of my personal biases. But I kind of liked Keith. He's probably my favorite of the male characters. He had a very important role of keeping Georgie, you know, at bay from Katarina, which is something I really appreciated. Right? You know, just overall, Keith was a pretty cool guy. You know, Nicole didn't really have enough screen time to have too much of an opinion on him. I mean, he was just kind of like the Syscon character. That's really the only real opinion I had of him. Like, he wasn't really as involved as most of the other characters were. And Georgie, I just never liked him. He just very, yeah, I just don't like him. Not really much more to say beyond that, really. I mean, that was most of the characters, really. So not much more to say on individual characters. I guess I forgot to mention Alan. You know, he was fine. Not much really to say about him. He was kind of like the brooding tsundere type character. You know, he was fine. Nothing really to say about him. But Anne, the maid, that was something I forgot to mention. Yeah, and that was something I definitely did not expect. Really, just how much the show would make me care about her, despite her mostly being kind of a background character. But the bond that she has with Katarina and how much that means to both of them was great. Like one of the best relationships in the show. Like it wasn't romantic like a lot of them are in the show, but it was still a great relationship for sure. Like very mutually beneficial to both of them. It's not the best way to phrase it because it sounds so professional, but yeah, hopefully you know what I mean. Like that was really great thing that I appreciated they had in the show. But yeah, just the very concept of having this this harem that consists of two different, like both genders, very weird thing in general. Like I don't think I've ever seen anime do that before. At least I can't think of one like this, you know, bisexual harem thing. Like I've seen a harem anime. I've seen a couple reverse harem anime, not a lot, because I'm not really into reverse harem anime. I think Ouran High School Host Club and Fruits Basket are the only ones that I saw. But I know they're a thing. As far as like both genders though, that's not something I've seen much like ever, I don't think, really. So that's quite interesting. For sure. But I mean, I guess it just goes to show how much appeal Katarina has. So it's pretty impressive, I would say. In any case, I think that's everything I have to say on the show. It was a fun show, mostly because of Katarina's silly shenanigans. Whenever she was on screen, you know you're in for a good time. And it was really enjoyable to watch. I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 or whatever, but hopefully there is. I mean, at this point, you really shouldn't be too worried about a bad end anymore. So if that's the case, I'm not sure what other conflict she would have, because that's always pretty much been the main plot string of the whole show, is just her avoiding the bad end. Right. So if she does reach a point where she's no longer worried about that, because even in this episode, yeah, she said that she had like this whole friendship end, as she called it, and if that's the case, then yeah, none of her friends would kill her most likely. So she really shouldn't be too worried about a bad end anymore. So even if they had a second season, like yeah, I don't know what the focus would be really, but you know, I'd still take one really. So you know, that's that. All I really got to say on the show. It was quite an enjoyable thing to watch, although it certainly had moments that frustrated me here and there, you know, mostly like Georgie moments, but it was good. It was definitely good. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki and Ryan for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.